Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is February 20th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop here, and you can see this storm system moving into British Columbia here. This is basically the low that marks the boundary of some much colder Arctic air that's going to make its way all the way down the west coast of North America, across California, and we got a couple waves of storms moving down into the state here, and we're probably going to remain active as we go on into the extended as well. We'll take a brief look at the extended forecast also, but we have a couple strong storms to worry about here coming up. Let's just dive into the details here. So this is last night's European run. You can see the big ridge of high pressure across the central Pacific Ocean here, dominating our weather here recently, but that's going to change here. As you can see this storm system move across Pacific Northwest. You can see this cold air ushered into California here, bringing some nice mountain snows for the Sierra Nevada here. Could bring some lower elevation, some higher hill snowfall there as well, all the way down through Southern California with the initial burst of cold air there. Fairly moisture starved, but it will bring some nice snows with it, but not too much rain. But then the secondary low here that develops on the Arctic, in front of this Arctic air here, is going to come down, and it's taking its sweet time, and you can see better moisture dynamics here with this precipitation here, especially across Southern California, maybe some of the Bay Area, Sierra Nevada there as well, as this low pressure takes its sweet time moving down the coastline there. Multiple rounds of precipitation possible with that all the way on in through next weekend. I mean, look at that. We're on in through Saturday afternoon by this point here, still continuing to bring precipitation into Southern California, up into the Sierra Nevada here by Sunday morning. There's Sunday late morning, Sunday afternoon, before that system finally kicks out. Then on the heels of that, potentially another strong frontal system could drive down across the state here on into early next week with not much of a break here. So that could help to, really build the snowpack and improve some of the reservoir conditions here across the state here. And if we're lucky enough as well, it'll drop some nice snowfall across some of the Colorado River Basin there as it traverses across the area. Now, looking at this current hazards, you can see we got wind advisory, we have winter storm watches, we have winter storm warnings for Northern California, winter storm watches all the way down the higher terrain into Southern California, high wind warnings, wind advisories, you name it, we got it out there, folks. Now, taking a look here, this is for the National Weather Service, Sacramento, California, talking about the storm timeline here up through the next 5 days. You can see Wednesday p.m. to Thursday, the heaviest impact likely there. Major impacts possible: heavy mountain snow, foothill snow, and light valley showers. Snow levels could drop down close to 1,000 feet, locally to 500. Gusty west winds to northwest winds. Not quite as strong as Tuesday, as you can see there, but nice storm moving through here, folks, and we're not done yet after that. As you saw, we have this next system. It's going to meander down the coast of the state here as we go on in through the weekend. Now, here's looking at the NAM 12 kilometer here, and this shows some thunderstorm potential. As you can see, this colder air arrive here. Now, watch as we go into Wednesday afternoon. This instability builds across the region. You could get some lightning strikes and some small hail showers with that as well, and that convective nature will also help to enhance some of the snowfall across the higher terrain also. And then we go into Thursday, and you can see that cape redevelop here across much of the state also on into Thursday afternoon shown there. This is the European, this is hot off the presses here actually this morning. Let me update that as we go. See what we've got here. This is lightning flash density. We're going to speed ahead towards Wednesday here, and you can see some thunderstorm potential here as we go through the day Wednesday, and that increases during the afternoon in there, especially across some of the Central Valley there, Northern California. And then again, as we go on in through Thursday, we're going to be dealing with kind of a repeat there as Wednesday. Now this is, let's go ahead and put this into motion here, and you can see the ridge here dominating. This is 5,000 feet, 850 millibars here. You can see the streamline of the winds here with this ridge of high pressure here. Put that into motion. You can clearly see the arrival of this cold air just move all the way down the state. Again, kind of moisture starved with the first portion of this frontal system coming down, but then this low pressure center here taking its sweet time, going to grab a bit of subtropical moisture with it here as we go on in through later this week and towards the weekend here, and continue to pump it up, especially across southern central California here as we go on in through the weekend. As you can see, that low just meander on the coastline here all the way through the weekend, and this is where that run of the European ends at 144 hours. This is the control run, and this would be about Saturday night shown there. Now, this is looking at precipitable water here. So initially, actually, let me update this because this is European hot off the presses here. We're getting a getting to watch this come in real time. So here comes the European here. You can see this initial system, a bit moisture starved here, casting that cold front all the way down across the state. Strong winds. We'll look at some of those wind speeds here coming up in a moment, but you can see that Arctic air very dry, then hanging off the coastline there, develops this low pressure system here off the coast of Oregon there, and that starts to pivot and move down the state here. And this thing is looking pretty slow on some of the models. It's going to introduce some subtropical moisture here in advance of it, and like I said, it's going to hang out all the way through the weekend coming up here, and that's where the 12Z is right now. This is hot off the presses here, but doesn't look like much change, as this low pressure system is going to be slow moving down all the way through the end of next week into next weekend. Now this is also the 12Z European run. 500 millibars kind of gives you a picture of what's going on at the upper levels of the atmosphere here. There goes the initial cold front all the way down through California there, and this is that secondary lobe here that's going to develop that low pressure system that will plague the state of California, or will be beneficial to the state of California. I shouldn't say plague. This is going to be really nice to bring some nice snowfall here and some precipitation, much needed as always across the state here through the weekend, but you can clearly see the development of it there. This would be by Thursday afternoon. Now this is looking at run-to-run change here at 500 millibars here. We're just kind of taking a look to see what kind of changes we're getting with this upper level pattern and a run-to-run model look here. But you can see kind of some additional troughing occurring here with this low pressure system here, making that low a bit stronger, which would mean its movement would be a bit slower here. So we'll be watching that, especially on into the next days. You can see this is going to be going on through later this week here. So we have a few more days to watch this system here and to see exactly what kind of impacts it's going to have across the state of California. Will it slow down a little bit more? Will it weaken, or will it move a little bit faster? We'll watch that here over the next couple of days. Now this is looking at the European 12Z as well. Again, we're watching this come in real time here, hot off the presses, but you can see these strong winds really blasting down the coastline with the initial arrival of this cold air as we go on in through Wednesday morning, shown here. Big winds coming across the islands here along the coastline, even the Bay Area. You could get some gusts into the 50s towards 60 miles per hour all the way down the coastline, 50 miles per hour possible even down towards Oceanside and San Diego as you go on in through Wednesday, shown there. Now this is total precipitation in inches. This is also the 12Z run here too as well. So we'll update this one, and then we'll actually go ahead and look at the last night's run here so we can look a little bit further out into the future. But there's arrival of that cold air here. Some precipitation. You see with the higher terrain, the orographics here, you're going to bring out more of that moisture across some of the Sierra Nevada here, Southern California, as that initial system moves down here. And then we're going to bring that additional low pressure system down the coast of Oregon into California as we go on into the extended here. So we're going to get that slow moving low. It's going to really add to these totals. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's back up a little bit to yesterday afternoon's run here. Now we're going to continue on into Thursday. Look at some of these totals here showing up across the Sierra and the coastal range here all the way down through Southern California. As you can kind of see, it's basically kind of like an atmospheric river here as we go on in through the weekend. Look at some of these huge totals starting to show up in the model runs here for the higher terrain of Southern California. And this would be spreading back up over the Sierra Nevada as well, with a lot of snowfall occurring with this kind of setup if it verifies. And then you can see the next frontal system, not much of a break as we go on in through early next week, really add to some of these totals. I mean, look at some of these areas are showing up over 10 inches of precipitation for the higher elevations of Southern California, and you can see up over half a foot of water equivalent across some of the Sierra Nevada here, and really the entire state. This would be an extremely beneficial set of storms here rolling in here through the 10-day period shown there. Now this is looking at total snow Kuchera. This is hot off the presses as well, but let's just go ahead and back up to yesterday afternoons here and just kind of show you what's coming here, since we're only getting out about 90 hours or so in the 12Z right now. But you can see the initial wave come down here. Nice snowfall for the Sierra Nevada all the way down through Southern California. Snow levels are going to be quite low here, folks, so be aware of that. It's not going to take much elevation to start to see some snowflakes around the area. Plus you're going to see some small hail showers as well, and some thunderstorm activity also. So underneath the more convective showers, you're going to drag that cold air down even quicker. But look at some of the coastlines all the way up in Northern California, showing the potential for some lowland snow really down close to the surface here. And then that additional system starts to come through this weekend here. And look at the snow is just piling up across the Sierra Nevada here, including places like Nevada even too, northern Arizona on through Utah as well. But look at some of these totals down through Southern California, just amazing. And then that next system swings through here, and this one's going to be a little bit more favorable for places like Mount Shasta and the northern Sierra here, Siskiyous, as you go on in through next week as well. And probably will translate to some snowfall all the way down across Southern California yet again. Now, taking a look here, Los Angeles, you can see the arrival of the cold air as you go on in through Wednesday here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, it just kind of continues on in through the extended forecast here all the way to early March. Pretty chilly temperatures for Southern California there. A little bit of a taste of winter down there. And you can see over the last 3 runs, the models have really been locked in on this increase of the precipitation here with that slow moving low pressure system just meandering down the coastline, pumping some subtropical moisture across the state here. But you can really see that change there as we went through February 19th, the 00Z run shown there. Now, this is Catalina here down the coastline there. These strong winds. I mean, look at this all the way into the mid-60s here on the ensemble mean here. So heads up for these strong winds coming down here. This looks to start on the night, Tuesday night here, or possibly as early as Tuesday evening. This is San Francisco. Clearly, you can see that cold front moving down across the region there and staying chilly on through the foreseeable future coming up here. And you can see the models relaxing a little bit on the call for snowfall down to San Francisco International Airport shown there. We're not expecting any kind of major snowfall or anything like that down to the surface there, but some of the higher hills could get some snowflakes. And again, we're going to be dealing with some small hail there as well. This is San Francisco International Airport wind speeds well up into the mid-50s here, and you can see really good model agreement on the European. I mean, just solid model agreement. So the big winds are coming, folks. Very high confidence in that, and this would be coming on in through the day, anytime really afternoon Tuesday on in through Tuesday night. This is San Diego. You can see the cool down coming starting Wednesday. This is that uptrend in the precipitation. You can clearly see it in the San Diego total precipitation. Multiple trend run here as we've gone through the days here. The uptrend is continued and it's kind of locked in here with that slow moving low forecast. San Diego International Airport here, pretty breezy coming. You can see some of these ensembles up over 50 miles per hour here coming up here. And you can see the control is about 45. And again, the European kind of been underplaying some of these wind speeds here. So you could see some gusts up a bit higher than this as well. This is Big Bear. Higher terrain is not going to escape. Some big winds are incoming, folks. Really good model agreement here as we go on in through Tuesday night shown there. This is Palm Springs. It's going to be blowing out there too, folks. Watch out on in through Tuesday afternoon. On into Wednesday morning here, some big winds coming across the desert areas as well with this cold front's arrival. This is Los Angeles International Airport, and you can see by the time you get towards Saturday afternoon, big precipitation in most of the European ensembles there. The control and the mean have good agreement. You get about 2 inches here by the time you get towards Saturday afternoon. So a rainy period coming up here with this low pressure system really bringing some subtropical moisture back into the state here, and then additional precipitation chances on in through early March here. This is Mammoth out there, and you can see the first one is kind of moisture starved there, but then the secondary system there, better snow chances as we go. Siskiyou County Airport here, you can see some nice snowfalls coming across Northern California, some higher terrain as well. Pretty cold conditions here. I mean, not exceptionally big amounts, but it definitely will have some impact on I-5. The snow levels are going to be quite low. This is Arcata up here, Northern California here. Some nice snowfalls just in the hills right off the surface here along the coastline. So heads up, folks, it's going to be quite noticeable out there. You're going to be dealing with some of those back roads that normally don't get snowfall are going to get it this round. Big Bear, you can see as you go on in through later this week here with that additional precipitation coming in the area there. Nice snowfall amounts down there for Southern California. And this is just kind of a pipe dream here, but you'll look at the problem here with Burbank. You can see 778 feet at the airport there, but it's including some of the hills around it up over 1,100 feet. So some of the higher hills around Southern California could get a little bit of snowfall out there, but you're probably looking at 1,500 feet plus before you start to get in on that action. I wouldn't expect snowfall down to Burbank. This is Ukiah out there. And you can see the airport is actually at 600 feet here, but it does include, the grid does include areas of 1,400 feet or more. So you can see this is probably for the higher hills around the airport there, but heads up for that. It's not going to take much elevation. Truckee, nice snowfall incoming there. Mount Shasta, the second system is probably going to be a better snowfall producer for them out there. Now this is looking at wave heights. You can clearly see the arrival of this system come down the coastline there. And this is hot off the presses as well here. Let me just update that. And we'll take a look here, and you can see that swell just move all the way down the state, all the way down to Baja. So, yeah, watch out for that wave activity out there, too, if you've got activities out on the beaches coming up here. Good old-fashioned winter storm here coming for the state of California. 6 to 10 day, the bullseye for below average precipitation, 6 to 10 day precipitation there. Peak winds, you can see these big winds coming for the coastline and the higher terrain. Nice graphic here from the National Weather Service San Diego. This is for Phoenix, Arizona. You can see the deserts, big winds coming there as well, including for Phoenix and some of northern Arizona as well. This is the dangerous surf conditions. National Weather Service Los Angeles. You can see the issues going on here. Big winds, big waves. Watch out. Possible big breaking waves here. Ventura Harbor entrances, as you can see there. So watch out. Heed these warnings here and pay attention to the National Weather Service and the local conditions out there. This is for Los Angeles as well. You can see 1,500 feet. That's pretty low there in Southern California. You can start to see some snowfall out there, so watch out. Big winds as well. Be prepared for those winter driving conditions. Coldest wind chills. Check out some of these wind chills across the higher terrain, even down to the metro area, down into the 30s here. Look at Santa Barbara, going for wind chills down into the mid-20s there as you go on in through Tuesday night into Wednesday. This is projected precipitation through Thursday evening, so this does not include the precipitation that's going to fall on in through next weekend as well. So pretty big snow amounts coming in here. Nice graphic there from National Weather Service Hanford. And this is snow amounts here. You see the Sierra Nevada kind of targeted here, but look at some of the higher coastal terrain there as well. Could get some snowfall, and you can kind of see where those terrain features lie and what kind of impacts you can expect there. So heads up, folks, it's coming. Chance of temperatures lower than 32. You can see the red is best and the orange and yellow there, but you can see some pretty chilly temperatures moving across the area here, including some of the Central Valley there as well. And this was National Weather Service Eureka up there, and I talked about this a little bit. Watch for that small hail, some convective showers, lightning potential there as well. Strong winds also for Northern California, as you can see here, coming down with that cold front's arrival. And yeah, really active time coming up here, folks. We'll watch this day by day because I'm really interested to see that low pressure system there. Could trend even higher for some of the precipitation amounts and snowfall across the Sierra Nevada as we go on in through the weekend here. Then we got potential more systems on the heels of that. So great sign for California here if you're trying to build up the snowpack and improve the water supply out there for sure. But anyway, yeah, tell your friends and family, click like, subscribe, and we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.